Now, recently, you may have noticed that there are many stories coming out about stackers being persecuted by banks. Not just the little banks, regional banks, smaller banks, who just, for whatever reason, close the accounts of coin shops or, bullion buyers that deal in large amounts of cash. Now, again, the stacking community tends to take it to heart as if this is a targeted notion towards stacking. No, it's not. It's very clear to see that, again, any type of activity like that that deals in large transactions, cash-based, you're going to be on the radar, especially post 9/11 with the advent of the Patriot Act. I mean, that's just normal business, day-to-day banking. Now, that being said, think about this whole world that we're in with stacking. Think about all of the things that the stacking community really holds dear. You don't hold it, you can't hold it, you don't own it. Anything that's not physical really isn't the asset that you think it is. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story that I kind of gamed out in my head about something that could really make the stacking community go back on a lot of the things that it's held dear for quite a while. Now, for me, I thought of, well, what if there was a concerted effort to really stop people from buying physical bullion? Now, some people would right off the bat say, well, you can't stop the bullion dealers from, selling gold and silver. They can do whatever they want. Can they? Can they? Isn't the stacking community the one that tells you that Big Brother can stop you at any instant from, buying, selling this or that? Well, let's game that out. What if there was a concerted effort to stop people from buying physical bullion, gold and silver? Now, let's disregard, again, the stacking communities. They definitely have every angle covered. Let's disregard anything in the law, in the Constitution, that requires, physical bullion to be minted for this or that reason. Let's say that the banks wanted to stop you from buying physical bullion. Could they do it? Well, yes, right off the bat they could. Why? Again, they can target the ones who sell. Now, the people who sell, again, the producers, those ones are going to be very easy to target. They're going to be very easy to shut down because it's very clear that those are businesses. They need, bank accounts to deal in. They need bank accounts to deal in, all kinds of different things. Not only to build their supplies and to pay their, suppliers and workers. That's the real key. Is they're a normal business. They depend on the system as is. This is where it gets interesting. Because I thought, if there was a concerted effort, legally, the banks, whatever the reason was, could they do it? And I asked myself, what would happen? And that was when something interesting hit me. This is how I think it would play out. I think what would happen is stackers would turn to the unholy union of metals and crypto. Cryptocurrency, when you really think about it, again, it's not a physical asset. The risks are high. There's a bunch of different things about crypto that the stacking community really doesn't like, for the most part. Now, there are always exceptions to that rule, but many stackers will tell you, you don't hold it, you don't own it, crypto can get stolen from you, blah, 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 blah. But if there was this concerted effort to stop stacking, to stop people from buying physical metals, and it targeted the banks to be the mechanism of enforcement, well, you'd need some way to kind of work around that, right? Now, what's the obvious choice? What's the thing that's gained adoption, especially, recently, that could help you keep those purchases going? Could bullion dealers pay their people in crypto? Could they, blah, blah, blah? Yes. And wouldn't it be very ironic that the stacking community turned to cryptocurrency to finance their stacking pursuits? It's a very real possibility. It's a very, I wouldn't say likely possibility, but it's a very real possibility. And it's something that, again, I don't think the stacking community gives any credence. Because why would you think, there would be any reason to not be able to purchase gold and silver? Now, this again comes back to stackers' suspicion of the government and, all things government. Okay, what if that did happen? What do you think? Do you think that, my logic there of stackers turning maybe reluctantly to cryptocurrency as the way to purchase and sell bullion outside the system, quote unquote, in a way that really can't be controlled, and kind of bypass the banks altogether. Same thing with a coin shop. What if a coin shop, you could pay in cryptocurrency? Now, the hard part with all of this is again, when I game this out in my head, at the end of the day, you still need the bank in some form or fashion. Whether, somehow you're turning this back into fiat. That's the part that I can't wrap my head around about how you would get this money back into the system. You'd have to contact the cartels or someone who knows how to how to wash your money for you. But that would be the real trick. And that would be such an interesting time when, again, the stacking community would turn to the unholy, cryptocurrency to keep the stacking community going. Would it still exist? Like anything. I mean, anything that's illegal, there's always going to be a market for it. And there's always going to be people that have it, people that are willing to sell it and buy it. There's always going to be a market there, whether it's an overt market, out in the open, or whether it's a black market. But the key is that, could it remain semi-mainstream in the stacking community if the way to finance it was cryptocurrency?